The Japanese attacked the United States at 7:55 a.m. without warning.
The attack lasted 110 minutes. A total of 2,335 U.S. servicemen were killed and 1,143 were wounded. 68 civilians were also killed and 35 were wounded.
Yamamoto was the Japanese general who planned this attack.
The Japanese lost 65 men, with an additional soldier being captured. The Japanese specifically chose to attack on a Sunday because they believed Americans would be more relaxed and less alert on a weekend.
The Japanese attack force stationed itself approximately 230 miles north of the Hawaiian island of Oahu. The Japanese launched their airplanes in two waves, approximately 45 minutes apart.
Plans for a surprise attack against the United States were begun as early as January of 1941.
Many of the U.S. airplanes were lined up outside along airstrips, wingtip to wingtip, in order to avoid sabotage. Unfortunately, that made them easy targets for the Japanese attackers.
Unable to get more than a handful of planes in the air, individual U.S. servicemen tried to shoot down the Japanese planes from the ground. The attack on Pearl Harbor brought the United States into World War II. Yamamoto quoted that all the Japanese have done was awaken a sleeping giant, America. After the attack, the army did not think it was actually over. They set up troops around the perimeter of all the most important islands, in case the Japanese struck somewhere else.
The attack brought the United States out of the Depression. Since we went into war, people were needed to make armies, ships, tanks, and other weapons to use. This let out many jobs for many people. What was the effect that Pearl Harbor left on the United States? Were you in the service when Pearl Harbor was attacked?
No. I quit high school and joined the Navy. At that time, things were gung-ho. How far those Japanese charge us. They'll learn their lesson fully through. At being 17 years old, nothing can happen to me.
When did you join the service and why did you? Was it because of Pearl Harbor?
No, you can join the service then at 17 if your guardian or your father or mother signed. You couldn't join then until you were 18. Then you could join, but you couldn't join before 18. Parents signed.
What do you think was the main effect on the United States after the attack?
It pulled together like you would not believe. It created a lot of jobs.
What was your reaction and other people's reaction to the attack?
How dare those Japanese come after us like that? And, they were real brutal in World War II. They had, when they invaded China in 1938, they got little babies, threw them up in the air, and caught them with their bayonet. And here we are, they're doing nothing, we go building the cars, building this, putting them. And the Japanese were always after us because if they blew us up, they'd stop the fleet.
How many people joined the service with you?
Basketball team. As soon as basketball season was over, we all joined.
At this time, if women wanted to do something, what were their options?
Wax, waves, the wax for the Army, waves for the Navy. Yeah, they did a lot of the write-out things, you know, orders. And they also had some Coast Guard, and the Air Force had, no, it was part of the Army, now it's separate from the Army.
How did the war change you?
It made a man out of me, I'll tell you. I learned quick. About 4 months and 2.5, 3 years. Bothers me right now is we're giving back Iwo Jima, we're giving them back to Okinawa, and we got a lot of Red Crosses on those islands.
One of the biggest reactions that happened to the United States was getting more jobs by joining the Army and creating more weapons for the Army. Although it sounds like the adults had most of the dirty jobs, kids also had to go farming and work in more factories to earn money for their parents too. Most of the blackouts that happened at this time started slowing down and only happening in few cities. Some animals were painted white so they could be seen during the few blackouts that happened.